Break Free. Turn Struggle into Strength. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. What if I told you that the very struggles you've been avoiding are the keys to unlocking your greatest potential? It's an idea that challenges everything we're taught. That struggle is a burden, an obstacle, something to escape. But here's the truth: struggle isn't the enemy, it's the forge where strength is created. Imagine a butterfly fighting its way out of a cocoon. Its wings don't become strong and capable of flight by mere chance. The effort it exerts to break free is what fortifies the muscles it needs to soar. Without that struggle, flight would be impossible. In the same way, our own growth requires challenges. Without them, true transformation cannot take place. You're here because you want more. Maybe you're tired of being stuck, of hitting the same walls in your career, relationships, or personal growth. Or maybe you're in the midst of your darkest hour, wondering how you'll ever move forward. This book is your bridge, the one that takes you from doubt and fear to strength and freedom. It doesn't promise shortcuts or quick fixes. Instead, it offers something far greater: the tools, insights, and stories you need to turn your pain into power and your struggles into triumphs. In these pages, you'll learn how to see struggle not as a setback but as a springboard for growth, build resilience and inner strength that can withstand any storm, transform pain into a powerful source of motivation and purpose, rise from life's toughest challenges with renewed clarity and direction. Every transformation begins with a single decision: to stop running from your struggles and instead embrace them. I understand how hard that decision can be because I've been there. The lessons in this book aren't just theories, they're hard-won truths from real journeys of growth, resilience, and empowerment. As you begin this journey, remember the words of Viktor Frankl, a man who found purpose even in the face of unthinkable suffering. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This book will show you how to make that change. It's time to break free. Your wings are ready. Chapter 1. Embracing the Cocoon. Imagine being wrapped in complete darkness, unable to move freely, and surrounded by an unfamiliar stillness. It's uncomfortable, even frightening. Yet this cocoon is not a prison, it's a sanctuary, a place where transformation begins. For the caterpillar, entering the cocoon is an act of faith. For us, it's a call to embrace solitude, introspection, and growth. Transformation isn't glamorous in its early stages. It often starts with discomfort, the unsettling realization that life as we know it isn't enough. Maybe you're tired of the same patterns, stuck in routines that no longer serve you. Or perhaps you've encountered a significant challenge, one that forces you to reevaluate everything. The cocoon is where you confront these feelings head-on. In a world that celebrates constant connection, solitude feels counterintuitive. Social media, 24/7 notifications, and endless demands on our time keep us perpetually distracted. But true growth requires silence, a chance to hear your thoughts without the noise of the world drowning them out. Take a moment to consider this. When was the last time you spent an entire hour alone with your thoughts? Not scrolling, not multitasking, just sitting with yourself. It's daunting, isn't it? But it's also necessary. The cocoon teaches us that isolation isn't loneliness, it's a state of self-discovery. For example, Thomas Edison, one of history's greatest inventors, often retreated into solitude to think. His breakthroughs came during these moments of intense focus and introspection. Like the caterpillar, Edison embraced his cocoon, trusting that his time alone would yield extraordinary results. The cocoon isn't just quiet, it's uncomfortable. Growth demands that we leave our comfort zones, shedding old habits, beliefs, and even relationships that no longer serve us. This process can feel like loss, but it's a necessary sacrifice. You cannot become a butterfly while clinging to the life of a caterpillar. Consider a story. Sarah, a high-performing executive, realized her relentless pursuit of success had left her emotionally drained and disconnected from her family. She decided to take a sabbatical, a bold choice in a corporate world that values busyness. At first she felt adrift, plagued by doubts about her decision. But as weeks turned into months, Sarah began to reconnect with herself. She rediscovered passions she'd forgotten, built deeper relationships with her children, and returned to her career with a renewed sense of purpose. Sarah's story illustrates an essential truth: discomfort isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign that you're stretching beyond your limits, preparing for something greater. The cocoon forces us to confront this discomfort and trust the process. Reflection is the cornerstone of transformation. In the cocoon, the caterpillar doesn't simply grow wings overnight. Its entire body dissolves into a cellular soup, reassembling itself into a butterfly. Similarly, your transformation requires breaking down old ways of thinking and building something new. Journaling, meditation, and mindfulness are tools that can help. When you write down your thoughts, you create space to process them. When you meditate, you train your mind to focus and calm the storm of emotions. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to observe your experiences without judgment, finding clarity amidst chaos. Practical steps to embrace your cocoon. 1. Create space for solitude. Dedicate 30 minutes a day to being alone. Turn off your phone, find a quiet place, and simply sit with your thoughts. It may feel awkward at first, but over time, you'll begin to uncover insights about yourself. 2. Lean into discomfort. Make a list of things that scare you, conversations you've avoided, changes you've resisted, or challenges you've postponed. Commit to tackling one of these each week. 3. Reflect daily. End each day by asking yourself 3 questions. What did I learn today? What challenged me? What am I grateful for? Write your answers in a journal to track your growth over time. 4. Trust the process. Remind yourself that transformation takes time. Just as the caterpillar cannot rush its metamorphosis, you must allow yourself the patience to grow. When I first entered my own cocoon, it wasn't by choice. A series of setbacks, failed projects, broken relationships, and a loss of direction forced me into solitude. At first I resisted, filling the silence with distractions. But as I gradually embraced the stillness, I began to see the patterns that had held me back. It was in that quiet space that I found clarity and began to rebuild my life. The cocoon taught me resilience. It showed me that my greatest strength lay not in avoiding challenges but in facing them head-on. And it's a lesson I carry with me every day. The cocoon isn't the end, it's the beginning. By embracing solitude and discomfort, you prepare yourself for the transformation ahead. Just as the caterpillar must endure the darkness before it can fly, you too must trust that the struggle is worth it. Chapter 2. The Struggle Within. Transformation is not a single event, it's a series of battles fought within the depths of your mind. The struggle within is where you confront your fears, insecurities, and self-imposed limitations. It's messy, painful, and often exhausting, but it is also the crucible where resilience is forged. If the cocoon is the sanctuary for growth, the internal struggle is the fire that tempers you. This stage of transformation separates those who dream of change from those who achieve it. Facing your inner battles is not optional, it's the only way forward. We all have an inner critic, that relentless voice whispering, "You're not good enough, you'll fail," or "This is too hard." These thoughts are universal, yet they feel deeply personal. The struggle begins when you recognize these voices for what they are, echoes of fear, not truths. Consider Michael, a young entrepreneur who hesitated to launch his first business. Every time he made progress, the voice of doubt crept in. What if it fails? What will people think? For months, Michael let these fears paralyze him. But one day he decided to act despite the fear. What if I succeed? He asked himself. That single question reframed his perspective, giving him the courage to move forward. Oddly enough, many of us choose the pain we know over the unknown possibility of success. Staying in your comfort zone may feel safe, but it comes at the cost of growth. To transform, you must challenge the beliefs that keep you stuck. Think about the caterpillar, it doesn't remain clinging to the same leaf forever. To survive, it takes a leap of faith into the cocoon, leaving behind the familiar for something uncertain but essential. Similarly, you must let go of old patterns and embrace the struggle of change. Limiting beliefs are the invisible chains holding you back. They're often inherited from childhood, shaped by experiences, or reinforced by society. "I'm not smart enough, I don't have time," or "it's too late for me" are just a few examples. The first step in breaking free is identifying these beliefs. Ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold about my abilities? Who or what influenced these beliefs? Are they based on facts, or are they assumptions? Once you've identified them, challenge their validity. Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm capable of learning and growing." This mental shift doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, it rewires your mindset. Fear is the greatest enemy of transformation, but it's also a guide. Fear points to the areas where growth is needed most. Instead of avoiding fear, learn to lean into it. Take the story of Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast. During a crucial moment in her career, she experienced the twisties, a mental block that made performing dangerous. Instead of pushing through recklessly, she faced her fear head-on, stepping back to focus on her mental health. By prioritizing her well-being, she showed the world that true strength lies in confronting struggles, not ignoring them. Practical steps to win the inner battle. 1. Name your fears. Write down the fears and doubts swirling in your mind. Seeing them on paper diminishes their power. 2. Reframe negative thoughts. For every I can't, write down I can, because focus on reasons why success is possible. 3. Visualize success. Close your eyes and imagine yourself overcoming challenges. What does success look and feel like? This mental rehearsal trains your brain to believe in the outcome. 4. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness during setbacks. Remember, failure is part of the process, not the end of the journey. Let me tell you about Amanda, a single mother who dreamed of starting her own business. For years she hesitated, overwhelmed by the fear of failure and the weight of her responsibilities. But one day she realized her struggle wasn't external, it was within. She was battling the belief that she wasn't capable. Amanda began to challenge these thoughts, taking small but consistent steps toward her goal. Today she runs a successful business, inspiring other single mothers to pursue their dreams. Amanda's story reminds us that the struggle within is universal, but victory is possible for anyone willing to face it. Without struggle, there is no growth. The caterpillar must dissolve entirely to become a butterfly. Similarly, you must let go of old fears, habits, and identities to step into your potential. The process isn't linear, you'll face setbacks, doubts, and moments of despair. But each time you rise again, you become stronger. The struggle within is not a curse, it's a gift. It's an opportunity to discover your strength, resilience, and capacity for change. Embrace it, for it is in the struggle that you lay the foundation for your transformation. Chapter 3. The Darkest Hour. Every journey of transformation has a moment where the darkness feels overwhelming, where it seems like the light may never come. This is the darkest hour, the point of greatest struggle, doubt, and despair. For many, it's the moment they want to give up. But for those who persevere, it becomes the turning point, the crucible from which strength and clarity emerge. If you find yourself in this place, know that you are not alone. The darkness is not a sign of failure, it's proof that you are in the midst of profound change. Why does transformation require us to face such deep challenges? It's because change dismantles the old to make way for the new. This process is inherently disruptive. When a caterpillar dissolves into a formless mass inside its cocoon, it is neither here nor there. It has left behind its old identity, but has not yet become a butterfly. This liminal space is where the darkest hour resides. Consider Joseph Campbell's concept of the hero's journey. In every great story, the hero encounters a moment of supreme ordeal, a dark cave, a deadly battle, or a crushing defeat. It's this moment that defines them. Will they rise or fall? Similarly, your darkest hour is not the end of your story, it's the point where you decide to keep fighting. The darkest hour often strikes when we are most vulnerable, when we're already exhausted, overwhelmed, or discouraged. It's easy to believe that these moments mean we've taken the wrong path. But in truth, they are signs that we're on the cusp of something transformative. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before publishing Harry Potter, she was a struggling single mother, rejected by multiple publishers and living on government assistance. Her darkest hour could have been the end of her dream. Instead, she pushed forward, rewriting and revising her manuscript, until she found the one publisher willing to take a chance on her story. The rest is history. How do you move forward when the darkness feels all-encompassing? The first step is to acknowledge it. Denying your pain only prolongs it. Instead, allow yourself to feel the full weight of your emotions. This is not weakness, it's courage. Once you've acknowledged the darkness, remind yourself of your purpose. Why did you begin this journey? What is the vision that keeps you moving? Write it down, say it aloud, or meditate on it daily. Your purpose is your North Star, guiding you through even the blackest night. The darkest hour often warps our perspective, making problems seem insurmountable. To counter this, zoom out. Imagine your life as a story, with this moment as a single chapter. Will this struggle define you, or will it become the backdrop for your triumph? Let me share a story. Alex, a marathon runner, was training for the most grueling race of his life, an ultramarathon across a desert. Halfway through, a sandstorm hit. Blinded and battered by the wind, Alex was tempted to quit. But he remembered why he had started, to honor his late father, who had inspired his love of running. Focusing on this purpose, Alex pushed through the storm, eventually crossing the finish line. That moment of darkness became the defining chapter of his journey. Practical steps to endure the darkest hour. 1. Shift focus. When everything feels overwhelming, focus on the smallest possible step. Can you make it through the next minute? The next hour? Break your journey into manageable pieces. 2. Seek support. While transformation is deeply personal, you don't have to face the darkest hour alone. Reach out to trusted friends, mentors, or professionals who can offer perspective and encouragement. 3. Practice gratitude. Even in the darkest moments, there are things to be grateful for. Write down 3 small blessings each day. This practice shifts your focus from despair to hope. 4. Rest and recharge. Sometimes, the best way to endure the darkness is to pause. Give yourself permission to rest, knowing that this is part of the process. As painful as it is, the darkest hour serves a purpose. It forces you to dig deep, uncovering strength and resilience you didn't know you had. It strips away the superficial, leaving only what truly matters. And when you emerge on the other side, you carry with you the lessons and scars that make you unbreakable. When I experienced my darkest hour, I felt utterly alone. A failed business venture had left me financially and emotionally drained, and I doubted whether I could recover. For weeks, I wallowed in despair. But one day, I decided to take a small step forward. I reached out to a mentor, who reminded me of my strengths and encouraged me to try again. Slowly, step by step, I rebuilt. Looking back, I realized that without that moment of darkness, I wouldn't have discovered the resilience that defines me today. The darkest hour is not the end of your journey. It's the moment when you decide who you will become. Embrace the struggle and trust that the light will follow. Every butterfly emerges from the darkness of its cocoon. Chapter 4. Building resilience. Transformation requires more than just enduring pain. It demands strength, discipline, and the ability to rise again when life knocks you down. This is the stage where resilience is built. Your wings, still fragile, begin to strengthen with every trial you overcome. Resilience is not a fixed trait, it's a muscle you can develop. And in the process, you'll find that the obstacles meant to break you are the very things that empower you. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to adapt and grow stronger in the face of challenges. It's not about avoiding difficulties but about confronting them with courage and tenacity. Think of a tree during a storm. The wind bends its branches, and though the tree may sway violently, it doesn't break. Its roots hold firm. For humans, resilience means facing failure, rejection, or loss, and using those experiences as stepping stones. It's the refusal to give up, even when success feels distant. Resilience is built on 3 core pillars. 1. Mindset. Your perspective on challenges determines your ability to overcome them. A growth mindset, believing that failure is an opportunity to learn, lays the groundwork for resilience. 2. Habits. Daily routines, like exercise, journaling, and mindfulness, build mental and emotional fortitude. Small, consistent actions create a reservoir of strength you can draw upon in tough times. 3. Support. Resilience doesn't mean going it alone. Building connections with friends, mentors, and communities provides a safety net when you falter. Let me tell you about Marcus, a teacher who lost everything in a house fire: his belongings, his documents, and even cherished family heirlooms. At first, the devastation was paralyzing. But instead of succumbing to despair, Marcus began rebuilding one step at a time. He leaned on his friends for support, embraced gratitude for the small things, and turned his experience into a lesson for his students about perseverance. Today, Marcus not only has a new home but also a renewed sense of purpose. Marcus's story highlights a crucial truth: resilience isn't about avoiding hardships, it's about finding meaning and strength within them. Failure is often viewed as the opposite of success, but it's actually a prerequisite for it. Resilience transforms failure into a stepping stone, allowing you to learn and improve. Consider Thomas Edison, who famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Each failed experiment brought him closer to his breakthrough invention of the light bulb. His resilience wasn't innate. It was cultivated through persistence and an unshakable belief in his mission. Practical steps to build resilience. 1. Embrace failure. Reframe failure as feedback. Each setback is an opportunity to refine your approach and grow stronger. 2. Develop a resilient routine. Incorporate practices like journaling, gratitude exercises, and mindfulness into your daily life. These habits strengthen your emotional resilience over time. 3. Set micro goals. Break down large challenges into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small win builds momentum and reinforces your resilience. 4. Seek perspective. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, how will this matter in 5 years? This question helps reduce immediate stress and provides clarity. 5. Celebrate progress. Recognize and celebrate even the smallest victories. Acknowledging progress reinforces your belief in your ability to overcome challenges. Adversity doesn't just test us, it shapes us. Each struggle adds a layer to your character, making you stronger, wiser, and more empathetic. Without challenges, you remain stagnant. It's through hardship that you discover your true capabilities. Imagine an athlete training for a marathon. The process is grueling, long runs, sore muscles, and countless moments of self-doubt. But it's these very challenges that prepare them for race day. Similarly, every difficulty you face is preparing you for a greater purpose. When I faced one of my toughest challenges, losing a career opportunity I had worked years to achieve, I felt defeated. But as I began to rebuild, I realized that the experience had given me invaluable lessons about perseverance, adaptability, and self-worth. I wouldn't be who I am today without that setback. Resilience turned my failure into fuel for growth. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain, it means you'll know how to navigate it. Emotional armor is built through self-awareness and emotional intelligence. When you understand your triggers and learn to regulate your emotions, you become less reactive and more intentional in your responses. When you build resilience, you don't just transform yourself, you inspire others. Your ability to rise above challenges creates a ripple effect, showing those around you what's possible. Think of the butterfly emerging from its cocoon. Its transformation isn't just personal, it's a symbol of hope for others. Building resilience is an ongoing journey. It's about finding strength in your struggles, learning from your failures, and rising again every time you fall. As you strengthen your wings, remember this: resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. And with each step forward, you're proving to yourself and the world that you're unbreakable. Chapter 5. Breaking Free. The moment of transformation arrives not with fanfare but with quiet resolve. Breaking free from the cocoon is the most physically demanding stage of a butterfly's metamorphosis. Its struggle to escape the cocoon isn't a hindrance, it's essential. The effort strengthens its wings, preparing it for flight. For us, breaking free means overcoming self-imposed limitations, leaving behind the familiar, and embracing the unknown with courage. Leaving behind the cocoon, the comfortable, the predictable, is terrifying. The cocoon may have been restrictive, but it was also safe. Breaking free requires trust in yourself, in the process, and in the belief that what lies ahead is worth the struggle. Consider the story of Daniel, a successful corporate lawyer who felt trapped in a career he didn't love. The cocoon of his high-paying job was secure, but it stifled his passion for storytelling. For years he toyed with the idea of becoming a writer but couldn't break free from the safety net of his career. It wasn't until he lost his job during an economic downturn that he took the leap. Today, Daniel is a best-selling author, living a life aligned with his true purpose. Daniel's story illustrates an essential truth: sometimes, circumstances force us to break free. Other times, we must make the conscious choice to leave behind what no longer serves us. Often, the most significant barriers to transformation are the ones we create ourselves. Fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs act as chains, holding us back from reaching our potential. Breaking free begins with recognizing these chains for what they are: stories we've told ourselves for so long that we've mistaken them for truth. To identify your chains, ask yourself: 1. What am I afraid of losing if I take a leap? 2. What beliefs are keeping me in this cocoon? 3. Are these fears and beliefs grounded in reality, or are they assumptions? Breaking free requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. Fear will always be a companion in moments of transformation. The key is to acknowledge it without letting it dictate your actions. Take inspiration from Rosa Parks, whose quiet act of defiance sparked a movement. Her courage to break free from societal norms changed the course of history. Like Parks, you don't need to start with grand gestures. Small acts of bravery, compounded over time, lead to monumental change. Practical steps to break free. 1. Visualize your breakthrough. Close your eyes and imagine yourself overcoming your barriers. What does freedom feel like? What does it look like? Visualization strengthens your resolve. 2. Take small, bold steps. You don't have to shatter the cocoon all at once. Start with one action that challenges your limitations, like setting boundaries or pursuing a neglected passion. 3. Create a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Share your dreams with those who believe in your potential. 4. Let go of perfectionism. Breaking free is messy and imperfect. Focus on progress, not perfection. 5. Celebrate your courage. Acknowledge every step you take, no matter how small. Each act of bravery builds momentum. Letting go is one of the hardest but most liberating aspects of breaking free. It means releasing relationships, habits, or identities that no longer serve your growth. This process can feel like a loss, but it's a necessary step toward discovering who you are meant to become. Consider Maya Angelou, who often spoke about the need to let go of the past to embrace the future. Her resilience and ability to reinvent herself, writer, activist, performer, stemmed from her willingness to release what no longer aligned with her purpose. When you break free, you don't just change your life, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon of hope, proving that transformation is possible. Think of the butterfly. Its emergence is not just a personal triumph but a symbol of beauty and possibility for all who witness it. When I faced my own moment of breaking free, it wasn't dramatic. It was a quiet decision to leave behind a toxic environment that stifled my growth. At first I felt vulnerable and uncertain, like a butterfly with fragile wings. But each step I took gave me strength. Looking back, I realized that breaking free was not just about leaving something behind, it was about stepping into my true self. Breaking free is an act of self-liberation. It's the moment you decide that your potential is worth more than your fear. It's messy, it's scary, but it's also exhilarating. And when you finally emerge, you'll wonder why you ever doubted yourself. Chapter 6. Taking flight. Breaking free from the cocoon is only the beginning. The next step in your transformation is to take flight. This is where you align your actions with your purpose, embrace your new identity, and soar into the life you were meant to live. Taking flight is exhilarating but also requires courage, discipline, and trust in your newfound wings. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, your wings untested, the ground far below. Taking flight demands a leap of faith, a belief in your ability to rise above the challenges that await. For a butterfly, this moment is instinctual. For humans, it's a conscious choice. Consider the story of Harriet Tubman. After escaping slavery, she could have chosen to remain free and safe. Instead, she returned to lead others to freedom, risking her life countless times. Her decision to take flight wasn't just about personal liberation, it was about fulfilling a purpose larger than herself. Taking flight means living in alignment with your true self. It's about shedding the masks you've worn to fit in, and embracing the unique qualities that make you who you are. Authenticity is both liberating and magnetic. It attracts the opportunities and people that resonate with your purpose. A modern example is Lizzo, the singer and body positivity advocate. By embracing her authentic self, she not only found personal success but also inspired millions to do the same. Her journey reminds us that authenticity isn't just a personal triumph, it's a beacon for others. Flight is not without its turbulence. The same winds that lift you can also challenge your stability. Self-doubt, criticism, and setbacks may arise, but they are not signs of failure, they are part of the journey. Let's take the example of Sara Blakely, the founder of Spanx. When she first pitched her product, she faced rejection after rejection. But Sara's belief in her vision kept her going, and today, she's a billionaire entrepreneur. Her story shows that taking flight isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about navigating them with resilience. Practical steps to take flight. 1. Define your purpose. What drives you? Write down your why and revisit it daily. Purpose gives your flight direction. 2. Set clear goals. Break your vision into actionable steps. Each goal achieved builds momentum and confidence. 3. Surround yourself with uplift. Connect with people who encourage your growth. Their belief in you will help sustain your confidence. 4. Learn to adapt. Be willing to pivot when circumstances change. Flexibility ensures that challenges don't ground you. 5. Celebrate every milestone. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. Each milestone is a reminder of how far you've come. Interestingly, many people fear success as much as failure. They worry about the responsibilities, expectations, or changes success might bring. Taking flight means embracing success with the same courage you use to overcome challenges. If you find yourself hesitating, ask, what is the worst that could happen if I succeed? Often, the answers reveal that the fear is manageable, and the rewards far outweigh the risks. Let me tell you about Maya, a young artist who dreamed of sharing her work with the world but feared rejection. For years she created in secret, unwilling to let her paintings see the light of day. One day, a friend encouraged her to post her work online. Hesitant but inspired, Maya took the leap. The response was overwhelming. Her art resonated with people globally, leading to gallery showcases and a thriving career. Maya's story teaches us that flight doesn't have to begin with grand gestures. Even small acts of bravery can lead to life-changing outcomes. Taking flight isn't a one-time event, it's a practice. To sustain your momentum, remember to reflect regularly. Pause to assess whether your actions align with your purpose. Rest when needed. Even the strongest wings need breaks. Rest is part of resilience. Stay curious. Keep exploring new opportunities and learning new skills to expand your horizons. When I took my own flight, leaving behind a stable but unfulfilling career, it felt like stepping into the unknown. There were moments of fear, doubt, and even regret. But as I leaned into my purpose, I discovered a strength and joy I had never known. Taking flight didn't just change my circumstances, it transformed my perspective on what was possible. Taking flight is your moment to shine, to embrace your potential fully and unapologetically. It's the culmination of your inner work and the beginning of your outward journey. Trust your wings, trust your purpose, and trust that the sky is wide enough for you to soar. Chapter 7. Inspiring others. Transformation doesn't happen in isolation. While the process of growth may begin within the cocoon, its impact ripples outward, touching the lives of others. As you take flight, your journey becomes a beacon of hope, a source of inspiration for those still searching for their own path. Sharing your transformation is not just an act of generosity, it's a continuation of your growth. Humans are wired for stories. When we share our struggles, breakthroughs, and triumphs, we create connections that transcend differences. Your story, no matter how ordinary it may seem to you, has the potential to inspire extraordinary change in others. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who turned her personal tragedy into a global movement for girls' education. Her willingness to share her story transformed her pain into purpose, inspiring millions around the world. Like Malala, your story has the power to spark action and uplift others. You might wonder, what do I have to offer? The answer lies in your authenticity. People are drawn to real, relatable experiences. Your struggles, doubts, and victories resonate because they reflect the universal human experience. By sharing your story, you give others permission to embrace their own journeys. Consider the butterfly. Its emergence isn't just a personal triumph, it's a symbol of transformation, inspiring everyone who witnesses it. Your journey holds the same potential. When you inspire one person, you create a ripple effect. That person may go on to inspire others, creating a chain reaction of positive change. This is how movements are born, through individual stories that ignite collective action. Take Greta Thunberg, for example. What began as a solitary school strike for climate change grew into a global movement. Her courage to speak up inspired millions to join her cause. Similarly, your willingness to share your transformation can set off ripples you may never fully see. How to share your story. 1. Be authentic. Speak from the heart. Authenticity creates trust and connection. 2. Focus on the journey. Highlight both the struggles and the triumphs. People relate to the challenges, not just the outcomes. 3. Find your medium. Whether it's writing, speaking, art, or social media, choose the platform that feels most natural to you. 4. Invite engagement. Encourage others to share their stories in response. This creates a dialogue and deepens the connection. 5. Remember your purpose. Keep your message aligned with your values and goals. Sharing your story should feel meaningful, not performative. Sharing your story isn't just about helping others, it's also a way to find meaning in your own experiences. Turning pain into purpose transforms even the darkest moments into something constructive and hopeful. Let's revisit Maya Angelou, who often said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." Her ability to share her hardships and triumphs through poetry and prose inspired countless individuals to find strength in their own lives. Practical ways to inspire others. 1. Mentorship. Offer guidance to someone navigating challenges you've overcome. Your insights could be life-changing for them. 2. Create community. Start a group or platform where people can share their stories and support one another. 3. Celebrate others' successes. Acknowledge and amplify the wins of those around you. Encouragement is a powerful form of inspiration. 4. Live your values. Lead by example. When you embody the principles you believe in, you inspire through action. Let me share the story of Elena, a survivor of a major health crisis. Initially, Elena kept her journey private, unsure of how others would react. But after attending a support group, she realized her story had the power to uplift others. Elena began sharing her experiences online, creating a blog that reached thousands of people facing similar struggles. Her willingness to open up not only healed her, but also created a community of resilience and hope. Elena's story shows us that inspiration doesn't require a grand stage. It begins with the courage to share, one person at a time. As your story reaches others, you may find yourself in a position of influence. This is a privilege, but it also comes with responsibility. Use your influence to uplift, educate, and empower. Stay true to your purpose, and remember that your role is to inspire, not dictate. When I first shared my own journey, I worried about judgment. But the messages I received, stories of how my experiences resonated with others, were transformative. Each message reminded me that my struggles weren't in vain. They had meaning, not just for me but for those I inspired. Sharing my story became one of the most rewarding aspects of my growth. Your transformation isn't just about you, it's a gift to the world. By sharing your story, you create connections, inspire action, and contribute to a ripple effect of positive change. Embrace the power of your journey and let it light the way for others. Chapter 8. Transformation is a lifelong journey. Transformation doesn't end with one breakthrough. Just as the butterfly's life doesn't end after emerging from the cocoon, your growth is an ongoing process. The journey of self-discovery, resilience, and purpose evolves as you do. Each step forward reveals new opportunities to grow, adapt, and become an even better version of yourself. Transformation is a lifelong journey, a cycle of renewal and reinvention. Many people believe that transformation has a definitive endpoint. They imagine a day when they'll arrive at their ideal self, free of challenges and struggles. But the truth is, there's no final destination in growth. The beauty of transformation lies in its continual unfolding. Consider Michelle Obama's reflections in her memoir, Becoming. She speaks about life as a process of ongoing evolution, not a fixed state. This perspective frees us from the pressure of perfection and allows us to embrace growth as a dynamic, ever-changing journey. Just as seasons change, so do we. The lessons that served you in one phase of life may need to be adapted or relearned in another. Growth isn't linear, it's cyclical. Each phase of transformation brings its own challenges and rewards, preparing you for the next. Take the example of athletes who retire from their sport. Many struggle with their identity, feeling lost without the structure and purpose they once had. But those who thrive in retirement often embrace reinvention, channeling their discipline and skills into new pursuits. Their transformation continues, even after their initial flight. Lifelong transformation requires an openness to change. It means staying curious, willing to explore new paths, and unafraid to let go of what no longer serves you. This adaptability is what keeps you moving forward, even in the face of setbacks. One powerful example is Oprah Winfrey. Despite immense success in television, Oprah continuously evolves, expanding into film, publishing, philanthropy, and personal development. Her journey illustrates that transformation isn't about sticking to one path. It's about embracing the possibilities that arise along the way. Reflection is essential for sustaining transformation. It allows you to evaluate your progress, learn from your experiences, and realign with your purpose. Make time to pause, take stock of your journey, and set new intentions. Questions to guide your reflection. 1. What have I learned about myself in this phase of my journey? 2. What challenges am I currently facing and how can I grow through them? 3. What new opportunities for transformation are emerging? Practical steps for lifelong growth. 1. Adopt a growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset keeps you resilient and open to change. 2. Set evolving goals. As you grow, your goals should evolve too. Regularly revisit and update your aspirations to reflect your current values and vision. 3. Cultivate self-compassion. Growth can be messy and imperfect. Be kind to yourself during setbacks, and celebrate your progress. 4. Seek new perspectives. Surround yourself with diverse people and ideas. Exposure to different viewpoints broadens your understanding and fuels growth. 5. Commit to lifelong learning. Whether through books, courses, or experiences, continuously seek knowledge that challenges and inspires you. Let me share the story of Peter, a retired teacher who dedicated his life to education. After retirement, Peter felt aimless without his daily routine and connection to students, but instead of resigning himself to stagnation, he chose to reinvent himself. Peter began mentoring young teachers, writing about his experiences, and volunteering in his community. His transformation didn't end with retirement. It entered a new phase, one filled with purpose and fulfillment. Peter's story reminds us that transformation isn't confined to one stage of life. Each chapter is an opportunity to write a new narrative. Transformation isn't just about reaching goals, it's about savoring the journey itself. The struggles, triumphs, and everything in between are what make the process meaningful. When you embrace growth as a lifelong journey, you find joy in the act of becoming. For me, the realization that transformation is lifelong was liberating. It allowed me to let go of the pressure to arrive and instead focus on the joy of learning and evolving. Each phase of my journey has brought new challenges, but it has also deepened my understanding of myself and my purpose. As this book concludes, your journey continues. The insights, tools, and stories you've encountered here are just the beginning. Your transformation will unfold in ways you can't yet imagine. Embrace the uncertainty, trust the process, and remember that every step forward is a victory. Transformation is not a destination, it's a way of life. Embrace each moment as an opportunity to grow, evolve, and inspire. The journey is yours to shape, and the possibilities are limitless. Final words. Transformation is not a path reserved for the extraordinary, it is the birthright of every one of us. You have within you the strength to endure the struggles, the courage to take the leap, and the resilience to rise again, no matter how many times life challenges you. Every moment, every decision, is a chance to step closer to the best version of yourself. As you move forward, remember that the journey itself is the reward. The highs and lows, the victories and setbacks, they're all part of the beautiful mosaic that is your life. Embrace them, share your story, inspire others. And most importantly, keep growing. Your wings are ready, the sky is waiting, it's time to soar. Take care and be well.